What's up, guys? James Mullen here with MMOHuts.com. This time bringing you a little insight as to what's new or what's coming to Guild Wars 2. Back at E3, we got a long chat with ArenaNet about some new content coming to Heart of Thorns, including some PvP stuff, a new Fractal, and most excitingly, Season 3 of the Living World content. Sadly, we couldn't talk about it until now, so we had to keep it a secret. That, and they didn't quite know when the content was headed to the game exactly.
Sometime
yeah. Soon, trademark.
Yeah.
So now we know the third season of the Living World series heads to the game this month on July 26th, along with content and quality of life updates for several other game modes. Now, just in case you need a little refresher on the story so far, you might want to skip this if you don't want any spoilers. The Elder Dragon Mortimer unleashed hordes of minions across all of Tyria and all but destroyed the world's united military force. Now, Mortimer was eventually taken down, but at a huge cost, so needless to say, Tyria is in disrepair. Now, these Elder Dragons feed on magical energy, which has gone a little bit crazy since Mortimer's death. It's actually flooded the world for the most part, and is bringing out a lot of the factions to try and take advantage of that.
The background of that is that, like, magic has gone a little bit crazy since Mortimer's death. There's kind of like an excess in Tyria, and unfortunately, this means that, like, with magic out there, bad people can get a hold of it easier. And in this case, it was the White Mantle, and they're doing some terrible experiments. And as a result, you are seeing things that you wouldn't normally see, like the Keep construct, which is a bunch of architecture coming together to form this horrible thing that wants to smash your face.
And as you heard from Ross there, one of the narrative designers in the game, the White Mantle have once again shown up trying to harness the power of the magic-soaked Bloodstone in an attempt to resurrect one of their gods. So having a ton of energy around isn't always a good thing, especially when it falls into the wrong hands. We pretty much saw the result of that in the final wing of the raid with the Keep construct boss fight. Also going on around this time, Taimi, a young Assyrian researcher, was left in the subterranean city of Radanovus, a long-lost headquarters for intelligence on the Elder Dragons and how to destroy them. With 2 Elder Dragons already defeated, she's turning her intellect towards uncovering weaknesses of the remaining threats to Tyria. Now, during the course of Heart of Thorns, players found and protected a dragon egg, which is pretty rare on its own, but this egg comes from Glint, a former servant of the Elder Dragon Krau Katoric, who rebelled against her master and tried to protect the races of Tyria. The future of this egg is a big question mark. Will it take after its mother? Did the power released by Mortimer's death affect it? Will it be an ally or an enemy of the races of Tyria? Well, that's pretty much what we're going to find out in Season 3. Maybe not in Episode 1, but soon. Now, with that being said, they've also mentioned that the structure of the episodes have changed a little bit, starting with this season.
Living worlds will start appearing like every 2 to 3 months at this point, which is a little bit of a departure of how we delivered them in the past, but there's going to be additional features in every release, so that's why it's a little bit more spread out, to give us time to get everything for every type of player, not only just story-driven players, but PvP players, the players that love, like dungeons, fractals, and etc. like that. So on release day, there will be a little bit of something for everyone, and not only that is that the episodes will be a little bit meatier and offer a little bit more replay value, and just have like generally good quality and something to really engage players and make them happy.
So less often but more beefy. Hopefully players are going to like that. The goal here is to deliver quality content on a continuous basis that works for both driving the story and also adding supporting content to the other game modes. Now, the first episode of the Living World Season 3 will be titled Out of the Shadows, and that is what is set to release on July 26th. And yes, the Heart of Thorns expansion is required to access Season 3, but you don't need to have completed the expansion story. A level 80 character is also necessary. However, with the purchase of Heart of Thorns, you get an instant level 80 boost, so you can still join the action right away. If you want to get caught up on the story and the past seasons, or at least Season 2 anyway, they currently have a live stream schedule where they play through Season 2, plus you can get Season 2 content at a 40% discount through the gem store. So that's what's in store for the Living World Season 3 for the main game, but it also brings with it a brand new Fractal map, like I mentioned in the beginning. This one is called Chaos Isles, and it's primarily focused around the energy that is loose in Tyria. Josh here was able to spill the beans on what that's all about.
The new Fractal map is called Chaos Isles, and it is it's interesting. Hopefully this comes after Ross has already talked, but we've talked about how there's a lot of energy loose interior right now, and a lot of people looking to capitalize on it and kind of harness it for their own potentially nefarious or maybe good reasons. We don't know yet. And we're going to be telling a kind of a story about that in Fractals over the next couple of releases. And so there's a new entity within these Fractals. His name's tentatively the Mysterious Asura, and we might find his name out later on. But he seems to have some control over this Fractal, and the players are kind of sent on a mission to investigate what's going on there. So the new Fractal, as its name implies, is kind of I would say a hodgepodge or an amalgamation of kind of other elements of other fractals. It's almost kind of like a dreamscape. You go in and it's like you had a dream a couple days in a row, and then you had like a nightmare to cap it off, and you have all these elements, all these weird random dreams kind of combined. And so you'll go in there and you'll see like, oh hey, I remember that from a fractal I've done before, but it's upside down or it's completely twisted, and it's pretty cool. It's cool stuff.
Now, the cool part about that is I'll have the opportunity to check out the new Fractal map with the devs later this month before it releases and share that with you guys, as well as the new PvP map called Revenge of the Capricorn, which is sort of homage to the raid on Capricorn that was completely reworked.
There's just some similar themes you'll notice there. There's obviously the Capricorn, which is the pirate ship, is making a return, and then some of the capture points are named after the points from the original map. But then the secondary objective on the map is completely changed. The art's all completely new. Don't worry, there's no underwater combat either, but it's really neat. The secondary mechanic on the map, there's essentially a bell, and the two teams are fighting over it, and ringing it will grant your team's score, and will also launch a volley of cannon fire at the invading ship.
Anyway, guys, that's what you can expect coming to Guild Wars 2 towards the end of the month. Like I mentioned earlier, Episode 1 of Season 3 of The Living World starts on July 26th. I'm going to hop in and check some of that out ahead of time to hopefully be able to show you guys. In the meantime, check out the new announcement trailer and info about what to expect at the site post at MMOHuts.com. Thanks for watching, and until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. I'm James Blonde. See you out there, gamers.